And we're back with the His and Hers the Truth podcast.
Yes, we are.
My name is Tuan. This is my lovely wife.
Sim, great seeing everyone. And thank you guys for your love, and support. We've noticed that our subscribe has gone up. But you know what? I know there's a lot of shadow watching because I know our views are pretty high.
Yeah.
But our subscribes are in between. So let's get that baby up if you love our content and support us. Show us some more love.
Yeah, there's a lot of different shadow reasons, right? I know we're shadow banned as well too. Our viewers have said that in previous videos that they don't get notified when we post new content. So guys, do us a huge solid and obviously subscribe to the channel.
Yep.
And of course, engage, right? We love your guys' comments and questions, right?
Yep.
We recently shot a live where we did that, answered all your comments and questions and reacted to some live ones as well too, which was super cool.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. And then of course, guys, turn on your notification bell. Although, like I said, it can kind of work sometimes and not work other times.
Yep.
And then of course, hit that like button, right? Like I said, we need engagement so that way this content can get pushed out there. And of course, our hope is that it's going to help all our Asian brothers and sisters out there, specifically our Asian brothers. I've talked about this already, right?
Yep.
Least desired on dating apps, highest, self-deletion rates, right? There's reasons why we are experiencing a mental health issue within the Asian community. And I think it really ties in closely with the truth. Okay. Anyways, guys, speaking about some crises, we recently shot a video. The video was China's deadly single women crisis, honey. And it was shot, the video was from a good channel, guys. I want you guys to go check them out. Subscribe to the channel. It's Owl of Asia. And I love these, their content because they literally kind of present this data to you in a, not in a too biased way. But they highlight some of the issues that's concerning the Asian community, and that's why I like this channel. So guys, go help support them. Okay. But today is going to be part 2 of that original video that we shot, part 1. Okay, guys. So it's a continuation. All right.
Here we go.
Let's begin. I gotta find the mouse first here. Let me. There it is.
On any given weekend, you'll find hundreds of anxious parents clutching marriage overviews of their children. These resumes do not just contain the...
Maybe turn it up a little bit. I noticed, is it loud on your ear? Yeah, let's turn it up just slightly if we don't mind. I don't know if maybe it's the volume on the...
Okay, we're good.
Usual information like age, height, and income, but also delve into details like whether the person owns a house or a car. If you are single and you own your own house or car, well, you, my friend, are a great catch. Now, this may come across as slightly strange, but what I think adds an extra cherry on top is that many of the daughters being advertised are completely unaware that their details are pinned in the park or market for all to see. This is not exclusively only daughters. Many sons are also being advertised by their parents. Just imagine for a second your younger days. There you are, a nice, happy...
Okay, before we get into, his imaginary scenario here, what do you think about it, honey? So now, because of, quote unquote, this crisis, right, parents are getting involved now, and so now they're marketing their kids, and specifically their women, right, their daughters, because of this single women crisis, right? And they talked about some of the, quote unquote, values that they're trying to market, which is house, car, finances, and stuff like that. And what do you think about just that initial process?
Haven't parents always did that anyways, market us? Haven't parents always market us anyways? Like, oh, my daughter does so-and-so. Like, introduction to other people, other parents.
Yeah, but do you think that's very traditional in the sense of, and I specifically want to point out.
Women. Not for
well, women, yes, but yes, I mean.
No, not for like in terms like they don't really care about like if a guy came over, he doesn't care if she like makes money or have a degree or have a house
That's
or
it right there.
That's I mean like people never asked me like when they come or they liked when they're like, oh, my son is interested because your daughter has a house.
So why,
no, it's the looks.
So
and everything.
Why do you think that parents that are having to do this now? why do you think they're using those values to market to men? Why?
Because they're desperate, maybe.
And why
Because
are
they're
they
old.
desperate?
Because these women
Bam.
are old.
Bam.
And I got to be straightforward. Think about it. If your mom and dad really have to advertise you and say, you know what, my daughter does this so and so, and she makes like, I don't know, 100K or 80K, or she's got a master's degree. Dude, if you had all that already, you spent that much time, you know, to get a master's degree, guess what? You're old. I'm sorry to say, you're not in your 20s anymore. And you know what? You guys should have like settled down when you're in your 20s. And if you want to, you know, and you say your husband was okay with you continue your studies or whatever else, then you should have done that. And then you have your, you know,
Let me
kids.
expand.
But now you're too old, and your parents who are elderly now has to go advertise you, and that's not normal. That is not normal, because now you guys
No.
did not care about being settled when you were young.
Let's I disagree in some of the stuff you said.
You know?
And but also let me expand on what you said, because
Mm-hmm.
you're 100% correct. You know, the key though is that these women, if we have to guess, right, not only are they old,
Yeah.
but they're lacking in all the females' values. They're low on the females' values.
Yeah.
So let's say they're old. That also could be they're not as pretty, right?
I was gonna
It
say.
also could be that they're unfortunately have a higher body count. They've been through
Yeah.
multiple relationships. Maybe they've been divorced. Maybe they have kids. The point is,
I was gonna say
the
all
point
other
is, it's
stuff.
not just
one
one
thing.
value.
No.
These women have lower values in the female values.
Mm-hmm.
And so the problem is you're trying to sell men on things that we don't care about.
Yeah. If
right?
a man is successful, he's got a house, he's got a car. Why would he care if he
and
has a house or a car?
The problem is even if he didn't have those values,
Mm-hmm.
men don't want those values just naturally, biologically. We don't care if you make a lot of money if you're freaking ugly,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or if you're freaking super fat and we don't find you attractive. This is just the truth, right? And so I tell you guys all the time, like even China, even these quote unquote traditional countries, guys, all these matrices, all these social constructs have fallen. And now they're in this same, modern belief that, oh, well, if I sell a woman like I sell a guy, right? Because they even said that. They even sell their sons that way.
Yeah.
They obviously have no longer an understanding
traditional.
of the truth, meaning that they're no longer traditional.
No,
And
they're
so,
not traditional.
So imagine you trying to sell a car and by saying, well, it's got high mileage. There's things wrong with it. Maybe the engine's a little worn. Maybe the alternator's
There's
failing. Maybe the
leakage.
back. But hey, look at this freaking nice seat that it has.
Nope.
And
they
people are
don't
going to be
want it.
like, I don't care if the damn seat is nice, if the engine doesn't run.
Why should I spend money on it?
Correct. So
There you go.
So you're selling men on values. If these, I tell my Asian sisters all the time, and this is a good lesson for my Asian sisters, but not only that, but all sisters out there. If you really want to sell yourself to men, and let's be honest, the men that you want, right? Because let's be honest, if the men that take the values like finance, that fact that you have a car or that you have a degree, those men you don't want those men.
Because you're going to end up supporting them.
Yeah, exactly.
ladies.
So the men that find you attractive for those qualities, they're lower tier men. And we already know already, women only choose the top tier men.
Hey, if you're only going for looks, hey, good for you. If you're only going to go for looks and he's younger than you, and then
Well,
you
that's
want to
only
and
gonna
you want to
last so
support him,
long.
and that's only going to last so
gonna last so
long, because you know what? You can put him on a pedestal, like, hey, my man is hot,
Yeah.
he's young, but guess what? You're the one that's going to support him. He's the one who's going to be lazy ass, do
Hey,
nothing
and-
for you.
And we've
And
seen
that's it.
And we've seen this too. If you're cool with a guy like that and you allow him to go, because he's going to go bang other women, right?
Yep.
Because he's going to be attracted
Why
to
would
other
he
women.
care?
And,
You're
and
supporting
and
him.
and he doesn't have to bring any of his
No.
quote unquote values to you. Anyways, guys, let me finish.
It doesn't work.
Before I finish, before we move on, let me give you, my sisters, an advice. If you're in that position and unfortunately you've made the mistake of obviously having low values, pursuing these other values that men don't care about, what you need to do is stop what you're doing
Yeah.
and immediately go build your values that are going to be attractive to men. If you're sleeping around, stop
Stop.
sleeping around. right? If you're super masculine and you don't know how to act like a lady,
Clean
start
yourself
learning
up.
how to act like a lady, right? Dress yourself up. If you've never dressed yourself up before,
Dress yourself
you
up.
better start learning how to freaking, groom yourself, makeup.
If you're messy, clean.
If
you're
if you don't know how to cook, go cook.
learn.
If you're out of shape,
Go work out.
get your ass in the gym as soon as possible. That's what the men that you want are going to value. Okay?
And that's the truth.
Single Pringle. And then boom, your mom or dad starts going around markets trying to find you a partner. These markets, however, are steeped in tradition. They also highlight the intense societal pressure to marry and the lengths to which
that doesn't
parents
work.
will go to ensure their children are not left behind.
Okay, so let's react real quick to that last two things, right? So what do you think about the sons that the parents have to market? I want you to comment about that. And then also that false statement. And like I said, I love this channel, guys, because they kind of present the information, but they do present it with, unfortunately, kind of a modernized, biased mindset, right? Because they're not RP aware. They're not truth aware. So the last statement where they says it's a societal pressure for marriage. What do you think about those two things?
No, it isn't. It's them.
Who?
Basically, it's the kids. There's no society. There is no pressure thing. It's you. Like, you want to get married, then you can find somebody if you want to improve on yourself.
What is really the pressure? Is it really a specific kid? Is it the kids? Or what is really the pressure?
The pressure is more for the guy. I mean, if they're having single deadly issue for the woman, supposedly that's what they're saying.
No, guys.
What are you talking about?
No. So when I say it, my wife will know. She's like I said, sometimes my wife doesn't delve into these topics as much as I do, right, guys? But what my point is that it's not a social construct that we are pressured to get married. It's the truth while we are pressured to get married, because the marriage construct, right? The marriage procedure is supposed to be the procedure that you take when you want to have kids.
Well, I understand that part, but I was talking about these women because they don't want to be left alone.
I'm just
single.
talking about his statement.
Okay.
The content creator statement
I
that
agree.
it's a societal pressure that people want to get married.
No.
No, marriage is not a social construct in the sense of pursuing the truth. Yes, the industry of marriage is a social construct.
Yeah,
How
to
we
make money.
how we go about getting the truth, right? Oh, we have to go to the church, or we have to go through some type of procedure to get together and have everyone know that we're married. But guys, that's not the truth. The truth is just, what values do men and women have high that they can agree upon and commit to each other? Marriage is the commitment of your values, right? Back in the day, it was just done through natural selection. The highest tier men got with the highest tier women, right? And the highest tier men got with multiple women, right? Just natural selection. We have tried throughout centuries and decades to try to control that natural selection. So we come up with stupid things like religion. We come up with stupid things like feminism, modern ideology, 50-50 partnerships, all these stupid ideologies to control the truth. But the natural selection still goes through. People still want the highest value person that they can obtain.
And it doesn't matter where you're from. It's the same thing.
Correct. And it doesn't matter what culture you come from. That's the
trying to
reason why we're having this single woman crisis, because these women want the top tier guy. And these guys want traditional top tier women. Low body count, feminine, young, right? So when you're too old, like my wife is saying, they no longer want you. Now let's answer that last question. What do you think these men are that actually have to have their parents market to them?
Same thing.
What?
Either they're overweight, or they're introverts, or they're freaking
so in
something
essence,
else, or something wrong
in essence,
with them.
they're low value men.
Yeah.
If you're a high value man, do
wouldn't
you
have
really
issues.
need your parents to market you?
No.
Let's be honest. You're a go-getter. You're a freaking, multi-millionaire, whatever, highest earner, good-looking, tall. You're going to freaking go out and get women on your own. Right.
Yeah.
And so these low value men are going to have their parents market for them. And right. And that's all I'm saying. Say it's this market, whatever market they're trying to make, it ain't going to work. Because you know why? Because all these people's values are so low that no one wants each other.
You guys got to up your values.
What many people are not aware of is how big China's market is. It's a massive market with a lot of cash to be made. In fact, A lot of well-known corporations have been known to do whatever it takes to get a share of the market. For example, Apple has been known to share its customers' data with the Chinese government. Interestingly, the wedding and dating industry in China is thriving. It has an estimated revenue of over $300 million per year. This has led to some sociologists believing that the leftover women label could have been created by the matchmaking and dating industry to maximize profits, playing on the fears of parents and single women.
Okay, so let's discuss
We already told you
the
it's about money.
Well, do you really think it's about money? Do you really think that there's big corps, quote unquote, people in power that are pushing for marriage?
No. It's more
What do you think it is?
Well, they're pushing towards that because they're trying to make money. Like most of these other booming dating sites and stuff, and most of those apps sometimes don't even work. Like, it's just sort of like, hey,
Well,
say hi.
they
don't
do
work
work.
that much. Not
They
that
do
much,
work.
no.
Well, they do work, but they do work in the context of the truth.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason why Asian men, and I'm glad you brought the dating apps, honey. That's something that I wouldn't have had comment on, but now that you brought it up, thank you. Think about it. What does the dating apps show us? What does the data show us with dating apps?
Boop, swipe,
Correct. Women
info.
want the top tier guys.
they can
Women
swipe,
supposedly
swipe.
swipe right, swipe left on like 90 to 95% of men,
Scroll.
meaning that they don't find 90 to 95% of men attractive.
Yeah.
And guess, we talk about this all this
Because
time.
they want the top tier who has what.
We say this all the time on this channel. This is the reason why we need to continue talking about who is the least swiped on these dating apps. Asian men. Right? And so I don't care what these companies, you can blame it on big corps, you can blame it on the government, you can blame it on rich people or whatever. They are just trying to control the truth. Because when they control the truth, they control your values. Right? So, for example, if they control the industry of marriage, right? The process of marriage, then they can tell you how to go about doing it. Right? They can say, okay, you got to do it this way. Right, you got to go to the court. You got to go to freaking church.
Because they all work together.
Right?
It's money hand in hand.
My point
guys.
is, they can control the truth, and when they can control the truth, they control your values. And what is the most important value that's actually real that we can hold and that we can grasp onto?
Your child.
It's money, currency, and of course resources. Right? Can they control your fitness? No. Can they really tell you? I mean, don't get me wrong. Hopefully, we never get to a point of oppression where they say, hey, you have to be a certain weight or a certain height, right? But for now, can they really control your fitness? Can they really control your femininity? Right? They can't really control your body count, although, shoot, goddamn, they're trying, right? They're trying to say, oh, women can have just as high as a body count as men.
And it's not good,
and
women.
think about what they use that for. They monetize that, right? OF, prawn stars, right? Workers, right? Prostitutes, right? Right. So they use your values in the control of the truth to take advantage of you to make those resources money, right? And so what you have to realize is that the truth is for you to control. Don't believe in any of these social constructs. Nope. Realize your values. You need to hold on to your values. Women, hold on to your goddamn fidelity, right? Hold on to your sex. Right? It's valuable. Hence why men pay for virgins.
You are valuable.
Right? Men, get your values higher because we cannot be successful unless we build our values. We don't get our values up front.
Nope.
We are not given values. Now, yes,
you got to work hard
maybe
towards
you're
it.
born with natural good looks. Maybe you're born with natural height. But that's only half of the equation, or actually not even half, when you realize that women want more. They want all the values.
Can't just have good looks, good heights, and then you're just a gigolo or you're an idiot.
Or
you're not
broke,
even trying to study.
right?
You're broke as a boat, whatever they call it, stoke, or I don't know what the heck the terminology is. But just because you have your looks, your height, it doesn't do anything. If you're not going to do anything with it, like, hey, if you got your looks, your heights, hey, try being an athlete or freaking a model. You're not making any income. Guess what? No one cares. It has to be
used for the gain, the pursuit of the other values. And it has to be gained. This is the reason why we've lost sight of it. It has to be used for the purpose of the truth. Okay? All right, let's go to the last part, honey.
It is difficult to predict the future, but according to an article on The Conversation, The 7 million single women aged 25 to 34 in urban China are among the largest contributors to the country's growth. Women now contribute around 41% to China's gross domestic product, the largest proportion of any country. Another article suggests that China's leftover trend will persist for years to come. Despite facing challenges such as detention, increased surveillance, house arrests, and imprisonment, women's rights activists in China continue to fight for justice and equality. If you found this video interesting,
okay, so that was the end of the video. Appreciate Owl of Asia to to produce this content for us to react to. But what do you think about that last kind of like prediction of the future, right? Where he's saying in the future, more and more women are going to be single, and of course, a reason for that is obviously because now they're one of the biggest contributors to the gross domestic product of China, right? And then of course, also just because of how people aren't getting together and things like that. So what do you think about that? And then also, kind of threw in a little bit of shaming language by saying that these women rights groups are still trying to fight for equality and all this other crap. So
and this is where it's turning out. These women now, because hey, they're go-getters in terms of, hey, you know what, I don't have to settle down now, or have kids yet, so I'm gonna go for my education or go for money and make money, right?
Yeah.
And as you can see, yes, they are contributing because they're now go-getters, opening their own business, whatever else, saying, hey, I can bring my own bacon home, right? But now look at you guys. Because now you're old and everything else, and by the time you want to start a family, supposedly, or try to meet somebody, the guys that are successful, they're not going to want you because you're old. Because they want their own, which is the truth, is to have kids. Settle down with someone young that can give them multiple kids that sometimes you can't. And I'm sorry to say, and don't be like, oh my God, Sim and Tuan, you know what, you're wrong. There's, you can do insemination and all that stuff, but but it's harder. It's harder.
The problem is all these matrices, right? All these social constructs, they started off with a good intention, right? And we always say that, right? In life, there's, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Yeah. Their initial intention was trying to design a construct that everyone could be involved in.
Yeah.
Right? Everyone could be like, oh, okay, yeah, there's someone for everyone, right? How often have we heard that, right? Or don't worry about being this top tier person. Just be yourself. Be a nice person, right? Be a nice woman, and some guy will be out. It's okay if you're not that good looking of a woman. There's going to be some guy out there for you, right? But the reality, guys, and the stats show it, there's not someone for everyone, right? Only 30 to 40% of men have procreated, right? So the point is the majority of men hasn't made it. There's no one for the majority of men, right? And so that's what's happening right now. You can see it in live time that as much as we try to control the truth, not everyone is going to be saved, right? And that's the problems, right? So now women, they say, okay, well, cool. I've been told that I can go get the values that I want from the man, right? Before, it used to be that the man had to come in and provide the money and the finance, right? But now I've been told I can go get it myself. But does that change the fact that they still want the men's values? No, it only changes now that they want the men's value even higher. So now they want the top tier men even more. So maybe before it was 30%.
But then you don't understand, women. Those top tier men that you want, especially if they're older, most of the time they have multiple.
Well, they're going to want.
They're going to have multiple people. Is that something you want to share?
Human nature is going to be human nature. And this is the reason why the religious construct is breaking down. Because for the longest time, you've told men, oh, well, you have to be a moral, nice person. You become the top tier guy, you should just stick with one man. You become a top tier guy, right? Why is there so many religions that talk about virginity being the pure thing, right? If you're a top tier man, you're supposed to get a virgin, right? In Muslim culture, right? They talk about like, oh, you're going to get virgins as wives, right? Well, do we really have virgins nowadays with this feminism ideology? And so what the church now is, what are you selling as the church now? You're selling to men, oh, well, if you're a nice guy and you're a high value guy and you're a moral, righteous person, you're going to get maybe some single mom. Maybe you're going to get some girl that has She's not a virgin anymore. I'm sorry, guys, but hey, she has a low body count. Maybe it's less than 10. Maybe it's less than 20.
Well,
right?
just say it's all walks of life now, and believe
the
going to
point
church.
is, we no longer have a product that people value. And so you, unfortunately, made yourself, the church, all these social constructs, feminism, they made these freaking, unfortunately, situations now where people don't want the values that they're trying to sell. Right. And as much as you try to push them to want it, right, you can push somebody to want freaking chicken all you want if what they want is steak. Right. They're going to say, no, I don't want chicken. I want steak.
If I paid this, I worked hard for it. Why can I not deserve what I want? Why can't I eat what I want? Yeah. And that's what they are. So
I get it. I get it why men are walking away, because they're like, okay, you told me all these things. You promised me all these things. You say, if I become this man, right, be less misogynistic, be moralistic, right? Go against my biological nature, right? Don't be masculine. Don't work out. Be more beta. Be more nice. Be more in touch with my emotional self.
And see where that went.
Exactly. And you told me that if I did all these things, I was promised a higher value woman. But did I get that?
Nope.
No. Right? And then on top of that, you told me that these women would be attracted to my values. But are these women attracted to those values?
They want more.
Hell to the no. They still want the traditional masculine values. And so that's the problem. So I agree with his prediction. I only see this getting worse than getting better.
Well, we already said it's going to get worse.
Yeah, it's going to be more single women. And what I see, the problem what I see is that there's only going to be a very select few of men. If you think, guys, don't get me wrong, maybe we'll get 30 to 40% of men still procreating through, let's be honest, you're going to have a lot of beta, imp guys, right? They'll take a single mom on, or they'll take a wife that's got maybe multiple partners, and they'll probably say, hey, at least I got something. Right? I'm going to give kids with this girl, and then, okay, at least I had the chance for legacy, right? Because that's what's most important to men is legacy, right? We gotta pass. Otherwise, you've lost, guys. If you die from this world and you don't have kids,
pass it out, you're done.
Men know that inherently. Men know that even though we might be bachelors, players for life, and we want to hold off until the very end, we know that at the very end, what we do all this for was to pass it on to our legacy.
Because you can earn all and become the billionaire that you are, but you know what? You have no legacy. You're done.
Yeah, your lifeline is over. Your bloodline is over, right?
Why do you think most people who are smart, would have a bloodline going? They keep it going. They keep it moving along, because that's it. Just like the royal families. Why do you think they're there for hundreds and hundreds of years? Because why? They made sure that they have their bloodline keep continuing and continuing and continuing.
Yeah. So anyways, guys, that was a nice video. Love the reactions. Thank you, Owl of Asia, and peace, you guys. Love you guys. Talk to you guys next time.
Bye.
Join us as we give you guys a glimpse into our lives, give you guys advice, hopefully give you guys entertainment value as well too, and provide you guys better outcomes.
Yes.